Hey everybody, welcome to Bored Online, Bored Offline. Today we've got a top 10 list of the best games of 2021 that I did not get to play. Essentially, my most anticipated games that I hope I still will get to the table that came out in 2021. We're going to be using the Board Game Geek page here to go through these different games, just because since I don't own the games, I don't necessarily have a whole lot of photographs already set up to go, so we're going to just use what Board Game Geek has on here. Now, before we get into this list, I do want to mention that we have a giveaway going on. If you click on the link that you'll see popping up in the top right corner of your screen right now, click on that card. It will get you over to the video that will show you how to enter this giveaway. We're giving away 4 games from our collection, and that video will have all those details. So with anything else, we're gonna get right into this list. We're doing 10 games, so we're gonna do it in 10 minutes starting now. Number 10 is going to be Chronicles of Crime 1900. Now, Chronicles of Crime is a game system that Lucky Duck Games put out in 2018, I believe, and then they've been iterating on it since. This one actually takes place in the year 1900, and it is a game where it has an app. You can see that the cards and items and stuff all have these QR codes on them that you actually use to investigate. And so it is app required, but it really just has this cool aesthetic. And again, this is 1900. There is another one coming out. I'm not sure if it came out yet. I believe it was going to come out in 2021, but hasn't yet. It takes place in the future. But this one right here is the current version, and all of these look fantastic. But since this came out in 2021, it's the one I'm choosing. You can see it just has this great, early 1900s, or actually 1900 aesthetic to it. You're solving a crime of some kind. Obviously, it's hard to tell exactly what's going on because of spoilers. I don't know too much about the storyline, but it looks like a lot of fun. Number 9 is Tsukuyumi Full Moon Down 2nd Edition. So this game is from Gray Fox Games. It is a fairly heavy game. You can see 3.59 over here out of 5, but this is a no luck board game with asymmetric factions. It looks gorgeous. I mean, let's look at this right here. There's different factions like nomads that are former soldiers, boar lords that are actually a race of boar that are now sentient and are trying to replace humans. There's cyber samurai, there's dark seeds, which are like a swarm type faction, and you earn victory points through area control and stuff like that, and it looks like just an absolutely fantastic time. Let's see what, look at, there's just so much going on here. And again, it claims to be a no luck board game. Obviously, this is somebody who's painted their factions here. And having a no luck board game that is combat heavy is very, very intriguing to me, and something I definitely want to check out. Number 8 is Waste Knights 2nd Edition. This is a Mad Max style theme that takes place only in Australia. You can see 1 to 4 players, but plays best at 2. This is from Galacta. It's cooperative, competitive, or solo. There's gangs, mutated creatures, sentient machines, and the story, it's story focused with a kind of branching paths that you can go in the story based on decisions you make. Some decisions are going to be minor decisions that maybe just affect you. Other decisions might affect the entire game world. You can see here you are. This is the west half of Australia. There's the eastern half over there. This looks like an absolute blast. Love the idea of Australia being kind of this self-contained post-apocalypse. All right, we've got Golem at number 7. This is based on a 16th century Prague legend. Engine builder, you're building golems, but trying to control them before they run rampant. So you're trying to build a powerful golem, but also not so powerful that you lose control of it. And then if it does become too powerful, I guess you can kill it for bonuses and stuff like that. This looks really intriguing, very interesting theme that really I haven't seen anything like that in other places. You can see there's this beautiful board right here. I love the look of this board. And, you know, despite the sort of really intense theme, you've got these meeples and everything that are going around doing everything. So at its heart, it's really a Euro that having that theme on top of a Euro, I find that really intriguing as well. That's Golem. Number 6 is Bloodborne, the board game. Now, this is, of course, based on the Bloodborne video game, which I actually have not played. I think it's only on PlayStation. I'm more of an Xbox guy. You're traveling around the city, killing monsters, and you can see you've got all these different crazy looking monsters, of course, as you would expect from a CMON game. And it's diceless combat, so the combat is completely card driven. There's 4 campaigns included in this game with 3 chapters in each campaign, and then the enemy behavior is based on an AI deck. And the general look of this game is just, I'm really into that sort of thing. I mean, it really kind of has this dark, twisted feel to it, and something like Dark Souls, the video game. I've played that before, and then of course Kingdom Death Monster is one of my all-time favorites, and so this looks like it'll be an absolute blast to play. Number 5, also based on a video game, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood of Venice. Now, this is a stealth-based game, which I mean, unless you count some hidden movement games that I have, or really, I think I only have one. I think Spectre Ops might be my only hidden movement game. You know, I don't really have any other stealth-based games other than that. This is, I guess, built on the V Commandos system, which I've never played, but also heard fantastic things about. So built on that system, it's a campaign game with some mild legacy elements. I guess there's some stickers involved and stuff like that. And then you can find all sorts of equipment, and the equipment gets better as you go through the campaign, as you know you might expect. And it just is the fact that they've managed to take Assassin's Creed, because Assassin's Creed has had a couple of games come out in the past. This one looks like it's genuinely a really exciting, good experience because it's built on that V Commandos system that has really been well received. So that's number 5. Number 4 is Descent: Legends of the Dark. App-driven game, completely cooperative, based in the Descent world, but not so similar to Descent as to be called a 3rd edition. This is considered sort of maybe a spiritual successor to Descent 2nd edition. 3D terrain is in this game. It's, you know, got this big campaign. A lot of people had problems with the artwork. I actually think this artwork is really cool, really evocative. I really like the way it looks, and then the minis, of course, are fantastic. But that fully cooperative, app-driven game is something that I've really enjoyed in the past. Star Wars Imperial Assault and Mansions of Madness, also both from Fantasy Flight Games. So all of that leads me to believe this is one that I would absolutely love. And now that I've got a game group that is pushing through campaigns, we would absolutely get it to the table. Number 3 is the heaviest game on my list by a little bit. The next game is also really heavy, but this one, Coffee Traders. This is a Euro game, of course, from Capstone Games, and it is a heavy economic game. Worker placement, you're going to be harvesting coffee, building plantations, you're fulfilling coffee contracts. You know, the player boards have all this information on them that I just find really intriguing with a game where you just have all this stuff to do directly in front of you. I love that. You're going to be like I said, building plantations. You're going to be constructing buildings to help with the fair trade coffee plantations, and you're basically trying to become the most successful coffee trader. And I guess it incorporates coffee from lots of different places, or at least you're fulfilling orders from different places throughout the world, and has some kind of real world stuff in it from that time frame, which I believe was the 70s. Is that right? Yeah, built in or set in 1970s, Central and South America, Africa, and Asia. So then number 2, we've got Sword and Sorcery Ancient Chronicles. This is the latest addition to Sword and Sorcery, which is one that I have not gotten my hands on yet, any of the versions of this, but this just looks phenomenal. It's a fantasy game with a 4.1 complexity rating, that just seems like such a fantastic challenge to get into. I love these more complex games that don't shy away from the complexity. This is, of course, very narrative-driven, modular board, random events. It's got this book of secrets for the campaign that you'll be dealing with. And, I mean, it just looks like a fantasy dungeon crawl turned all the way up to 11. And I love it. Everything about this game I love. There's so little doubt in my mind that I would absolutely love playing this game. And finally, we have Unsettled for my number 1. This is not only such a cool looking game, but the idea of how it works. So you have this core framework here. Let me see. This is 1 to 4 players. I mean, it's weird. It says 2 to 4, but the community says 1 to 4. So I'm not sure what's up with that. But you got this core framework box here, and that gives you a lot of the components you need for the game in general. But then you have these individual boxes. And each of these is a planet. So you have all of this that is common to all the games, but then the individual planets are self-contained in these boxes that have different, they've got their own setup, their own framework, their own rules, their own, cards, tokens, all that kind of stuff. And each planet box has 3 different scenarios inside of it. It seems like a fantastic experience with just stunning artwork. There is my timer. We are done. There's stunning artwork. Just look at this. Let's flip through here for a second. There we go. Getting some more artwork here. This just looks so cool. I love the sci-fi feel to this and the exploration. It just seems like there's so many possibilities with what they can do with that planet box system. So there you go. Those are the 10 games from 2021 that I did not get a chance to play that I desperately want to play. I'd love to hear what games you haven't played yet from 2021 that you really want to get to the table. And be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go join that giveaway over at the other video. And until next time, if you're bored online, bored offline.